Fiji Times. Be with the times.
छोटे को प्यार बड़ों को प्रणाम नमस्कार सत श्री अकाल आदाब आज I'm sitting in VTC studio and thank you so much to Vishwa Naidu. आज हम करेंगे डॉक्टर सतीश राय से बातचीत और मैं आपका नवनीत. डॉक्टर राय, वेलकम टू द शो.
नमस्कार नवनीत भाई, बहुत दिन बाद मिले. Thank you for inviting me to the studio and for this chat.
Absolutely pleasure. It's my pleasure talking to you. Talking about 1879, as the Gurmit Divas is coming on 14th of May, I thought let me have a chat with the historian, the doctor, PhD in film and television production, a community personality, Dr. Satish Rai. Who better could have been talking on this issue?
Yes, the PhD was a professional PhD in film production, but my research topic was Fiji Gurmitias.
Fiji Gurmitias.
Yes.
Right. So going back to 1879, if we have to give a tribute to the early settlers.
Yes, this is the 139th anniversary of the arrival of the first 400 to 500 Gurmitias in Fiji on the ship of Leonidas. And then onwards, 6,500 nearly young Indian men, women and children were picked up from India and transported to Fiji in about 86 shipments from Calcutta and from Madras as well. But Navneet Bhai, can I briefly tell you that Fiji's Gurmit is a very significant but very small part of a very large scale transportation and exploitation of human beings by Europeans, which started about 400 years earlier. When millions of Africans were taken to Americas and other colonies, and in 1934, around that time, it was abolished, and then there was shortage of labor, and at that time Britain was owning India, controlling India, ruling India, and they looked to India and they transported, now the figure is about 3.5 million Indians to various colonies, starting from French Reunion in 1828, and it stopped in 1917.
Oh, right. So it is not 1879, but it had been going on long enough.
Too long.
So coming back to Dr. Rai once again, you've done your PhD, and the research was more on the Fiji Indians with the history and all that. Can you tell more about it?
Yes, Navneet, it was a professional PhD in film. Profession was film production, and there were two components. One was researching on a topic, and the topic was Fiji Gurmit history.
Right.
And then translating that into a documentary film, and the title of the film is In Exile at Home. The thesis is In Exile at Home, in which I proved that the majority of the Indians who stayed back in Fiji, they were not allowed to go back to India. Thus they were exiled in Fiji, and where they lived, worked and died eventually.
Look, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Rai, for all the hard work that you've done bringing the history in front of the public. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
If I'm not wrong, born in Lautoka to London, then Liverpool.
Yes.
Correct? And then adding on to that, in 2019 it's Lucknow, and 2020 in London once again.
Once again.
Right? So would you tell the audience about 2019 and 2020 Lucknow and London project?
Background to Lucknow, London is that we have been observing Gurmit Divas in Sydney since 1999.
Right.
And then slowly it began to spread, and this year we celebrated, observed in Melbourne, in Brisbane, in New Zealand, and in Wellington, and in many parts of the Fijian diaspora, as well as in the global Gurmit diaspora.
Right.
But my effort since 2016 has been to take the Gurmit issue to India.
Right.
And next year, after PVD, Pravasi Bharat Divas in Varanasi, we'll have a Gurmit Divas in Lucknow.
That's 2019.
19, yes. And then thereafter, a lot of people asked me, and people have cried that we have to take the issue to London itself, just like Dr. Shashi Tharoor took the issue of exploitation of India to London.
Yeah.
I am aiming with my friends and Indian Diaspora Council of Australia and International to take Gurmit Divas to London in 2020.
So wish you all the best on behalf of Fiji Times. When we say be with the times, so you are absolutely being with the times.
I was with the Times.
Absolutely. You are. You still are. You still are. You still are. I owe you. I owe you.
Thank you.
I owe you. Achha, tell me something. Is it enough being done to preserve the memories of that early days of early settlings in Fiji?
Just before I arrived here, I wrote to a very prominent person, former MP of Fiji, and he's just celebrated his 80th birthday. And I wrote to him and said that documentation of post-Gurmit era is also very important. As a researcher on Gurmit, we found it very difficult to find anything substantial on Gurmit, and we didn't have the recorded documentation of the voices of the Gurmitas except some done by Dr. Ahmad Ali and some done by Dr. Professor Vijay Naidu, and of course I also spoke to one of the Gurmitias myself when I was very, very young. No, not enough has been done, and when I started this journey some 25 years ago, there was hardly anybody with me at that time. For about 15 years or so, it was a lonely battle. People used to laugh at me, what I was doing. People used to discount what I was doing. But slowly, over the last 10 years, more and more people are beginning to join me. There are many more researchers, there are young researchers, there are young people joining. And finally, I think we are getting there, but substantially much more needs to be done.
Yes, I want to say much more needs to be done. What more can be done? That is something which floats around. That an effort needs to be done by the community and people like you who can take the community along and do more of that.
For instance, something which I started recently, I've been talking about to people and they don't listen until now, some of them are, is that the families of the Gurmitias who were left behind in India.
Right.
I have talked to a number of them, I went to their villages, they still want to know.
It's a hard task.
Where the children disappeared. They're still looking for some answers, but nobody is looking into the million-odd families or the ancestors of the Gurmitias back in India. That is very, very important research which needs to be done. In Fiji, at the moment we are trying, and Global Gurmitias, something which I'm doing is there's no one publication in which the histories and struggles and exploitation and triumphs and heritage of the global Gurmitias have been written together. Nobody has done that. They have not combined them together. That has to be done, and we are in the Diaspora Council. We have taken on the task of doing that. So there's a lot of history, research needs to be done. For instance, I've proven that the British and the CSR company, they stopped the Gurmitias from returning to India. But was it the case, same case in French Reunion, in Mauritius, in Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, South Africa, all these countries? They have to research, we have to research to find out why they did not return. And also you have to find out, in Fiji's case, 40% of the Gurmitias had returned.
Okay.
Yes, that is 25,000 out of 60,000. There are substantial number of Gilmit Association. What happened to them? I know I met two families. I met one family, and I know of Pandit Totaram Sanadhyay,
Right.
and I know of Kunti. But the rest of the 25,000 I don't know. So that research has to be done. So there's huge area of research which needs to be done, and how there are people out there, the younger people who are doing their bachelor's, master's and PhD, they would be taking on some of these projects and research on them and tell us and find out and tell us the answers.
Look, on behalf of Fiji Times, I extend my finest wishes for all the efforts that you're putting in to get together the history in one of the books. What all is happening in Sydney in Australia on this Gilmit Divis? Are you involved in any of these, or?
Oh yes, Indian Diaspora Council, of which I'm the director. We have already done the commemoration of abolition of global Gilmit and Fiji Gilmit Divis on 28th of April, and we had the first ever Gilmit Heritage and Community Solutions Conference. Both were very successful. It was done in Duneside, and I have a feeling, I've been told that another person is doing another Gilmit event in Sydney, maybe on this weekend or next weekend. And then there's next weekend is Brisbane. There's an event in Brisbane, and then there's an event in Melbourne. And I was invited to this event in Wellington, which unfortunately I could not attend because of my other commitments. Yeah, so these are the ones happening, and I know there's a very important event happening in Fiji, done by Global Gilmitians under the leadership of Dr. Ganesh Chand. So number of events are happening, and of course throughout the world it's happening. Guyana has observed the Araval Day, and there will be Mauritius in other countries. So an Indian Diaspora Council International, which is based in New York, I'm sure they're doing a number of things as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rai, for accepting my invitation to come on such a short notice. And thank you once again to Vishwa Naidu for giving us such a wonderful place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Fiji Times. Be with the times.